Hello, everyone. Thank you for coming. I want to thank Sean and Chris Whitegrass for doing that. It was very, very beautiful. Before we start, just a reminder, if anybody needs to use the restroom, they're out these doors and downstairs, and then there's ADA accessible bathrooms next door where we'll have our dinner. Hi everyone, welcome to Missoula's MLK Day celebration. I'm so excited that this day is finally here, and I'm grateful that all of you could come and join us. I want to start by thanking St. Anthony's Church for donating their space. It's beautiful in here, and I'm so thankful that we get to use this space. We'd also like to acknowledge the fact that we are on historically indigenous land, and to do that, we have a formal land acknowledgement by Myrna Dumontier and Arlene Adams. Myrna is a Salish mother, grandmother, and great-grandmother with her roots in the Bitter Valley. She is the daughter of Lewis and Nadine Adams. Myrna's current work is serving for people of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai tribes as council representative. So if we have Myrna and Arlene come on up.
If you would join us in blessing this gathering tonight by standing up with us, please. We're going to sing a song from our tribe, and we're going to all face the north first. So if you would all turn to the north, and my sister Arlene will begin. Blessings to all of our relatives to the north. We ask for their help. We ask for blessings of every kind for body, spirit, and mind. As we turn to the east, bless all of our relatives to the east. behalf of the Salish tribe, we welcome you to this place, to this land, to the place we still call home. We thank you for bringing all of your prayers and all of your good wishes and your good hearts tonight as we gather together on this very special day. You may be seated. My name is Myrna Adams Montier. My sister Arlene Adams is joining me up here. We are very honored and very proud to be able to represent our tribe as we come back home to the center of our home. Where we live is our home also, on the reservation. But down here, it's an extension of what used to be the core of our tribal lands. It's an honor to be with you here today to share some Salish perspectives on the honoring of Martin Luther King. The Salish people knew many, many generations before contact that there was a God, and that God was a good God, and he was a provider and a protector. And the Salish people listened to their dreams and listened to their prophecies about the coming of something new, the coming of God's words. And they weren't sure what that was, but in the vision of this young woman who had the vision, she saw this, what we call now a book, and it had God's words written on it, and they didn't understand what that was, but they were very hopeful. They were very hopeful, and they embraced it, and they sent people, they sent 4 delegations to St. Louis to try to find somebody who could interpret what that was and what that meant. The 4th delegation was successful and retrieved a Desmit priest who came here and who started the Catholic religion in the Hamilton area. And that religion has existed among us all this time. Today, many of us have expanded our religious beliefs and are Pentecostals and are Jesus freaks. But it's because our grandmothers and our grandfathers grasped the very heart of what was being expressed, the very meaning of it, of who God was and is for generations and generations. Just as Martin Luther King understood, we are all God's children. And the connection between Martin Luther King and the cultural values of the Salish people, both historically and present day, is strong testimony to this fundamental truth. An important quote from Martin Luther King to consider before I go any further. Shallow understanding from people of goodwill is more frustrating than absolute misunderstanding from people of ill will. It is with that thought in mind that I speak today, with the modest hope that we can deepen our understanding of all that has brought us here today. Perhaps the most famous Martin Luther King quote on Native Americans is as follows. Our nation was born in genocide when it embraced the doctrine that the original American, the Indian, was an inferior race. Even before there were large numbers of Negroes on our shore, the scar of racial hatred had already disfigured colonial society. From the 16th century forward, blood flowed in battles over racial supremacy. We are perhaps the only nation that has tried as a matter of national policy to wipe out this indigenous population. Moreover, we elevated that tragic experience into a noble crusade Indeed, even today, we have not permitted ourselves to reject or feel remorse for this shameful episode. Our literature, our films, our drama, our folklore, all exalt it. Our children are still taught to respect the violence which reduced a red-skinned people to an earlier culture into a few fragmented groups herded into impoverished reservations. The recent history of the land beneath your feet today is part of what Martin Luther King was speaking out on. Our great-grandmother, Artupia, was born just a few hundred yards from here in a teepee on the banks of the river. She was a Salish woman who, with her people, were told that they must leave the center of their homeland, the Bitterroot Valley, and move on to the present-day Flathead Reservation. It was 1892, 37 years after the Hellgate Treaty of 1855. So what were they doing living on the banks of the river? Practicing peaceful resistance. Martin Luther King style, years before he was born. They were waiting on a promise made during the signing of the Hellgate Treaty that the United States would survey the land to determine the best place for the Bitterroot Salish, so they might not need to move at all. That was the first broken promise of the treaty, as no such determination was ever made. But there was no bloodshed. For 37 years, Chief Charlo and many of his people peacefully resisted the move to the Flathead Reservation, and only when it became apparent that the promise of a survey would not be kept, and in keeping with their peaceful values, would they eventually leave their homeland. To better understand this chapter of our history, I would ask you to consider another Martin Luther King quote. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Martin Luther King was a peaceful warrior, a warrior of resistance against injustice, and would have been at home in our Salish camps. One of the more famous Martin Luther King quotes is, "Injustice anywhere is a threat to injustice everywhere." And I would like you to hold that thought while you consider another one. The ultimate tragedy is not the oppression and cruelty by bad people, but the silence over that by good people. So as we reflect on all this day brings to us and to the world, I hope that we can be loving, not silent. I urge you in this day and time to utilize your voice, utilize your power to do exactly what Martin Luther King would have done in times like this, and speak out for Native peoples in the missing and murdered Indigenous women cause by calling your senators, calling your legislators, and encouraging them to sign the bills that will allow us to be counted, that will allow us to be treated equally. And in that, we would honor Martin Luther King. Lamnach.
We'd now like to welcome Pastoral Associate Terry Jimerson. Mr. Jimerson is going to offer some words of welcome.
I'm Terry Jimerson, and I've been here at this church working mostly with music and events like that for 38 years. So I was here when they first started the Martin Luther King marches and all through town. I was also with the Missoula Ministerial Association that helped to put this all together in the beginning, and then it kind of broadened out and included the young people and all of the people that are involved in all the social justice issues throughout the whole area. So I just wanted to say that as a member of this community, we're really privileged to have this here tonight, and would love to welcome you. And I would like to welcome you in the sense that these women just spoke about, that we're in sacred land and sacred space, and each one of us is part of that sacred land and space. Thanks.
So again, welcome everyone. My name is Sierra Pinnell, and I'll be your MC for tonight. I'm a senior at the University of Montana studying social work. I'm doing my practicum at Empower Montana and also the racial justice intern there. I've had the pleasure of being a part of the MLK Day Planning Committee, and honestly, I just really showed up to the meetings, and everyone else did a lot of the work, but they're awesome, and I was always in awe of just like the passion that they had for this event. They were so willing to give their time and their resources. This event really wouldn't be possible without our 2019 Planning Committee. The energy that they gave to this event is truly remarkable and should not go unacknowledged. So I'm going to read off the names of all of our committee members, and if you could stand up and give a little wave, and then when I read all the names, we can just shout for you because you're awesome. So Amanda Rosparski, Andrea Vernon, Betsy Mulligan, Brooke Korn, Callie Foster, Eric Gorekeeper, Jayton Simpson, Jamar Galbraith, Jason Gorgeous, Joe Hickman, John Lund, John Ofishka, Kelsey Severson, Kyle Sample, Lydia Schultz, Murray Pierce, Ray Carlisle, and Chloe Miller Shear. Thank you all for coming. Thank you. So again, welcome. Thank you for coming out tonight. We have some great things planned. We have some singing and some speaking. That's really awesome, and I'm really excited for it. So with that, we're going to get started, and we are going to have our community choir come up. The choir was put together by Christopher Hahn. Dr. Christopher Hahn maintains a multifaceted career as pianist, conductor, adjudicator, and author. He has been featured as soloist and collaborative artist throughout North America and Europe, and has performed in Carnegie Hall, Wild Recital Hall, the Music Gallery in Toronto, and at institutions such as Northwestern University and Stanford University. He had the honor of performing for the Archbishop Desmond Tutu with the Metropolitan Opera's Leona Mitchell. Dr. Hahn studied choral conducting with Noel Edison and Jonathan Reed, and has worked with Anton Armstrong, Barry Cabena, and Dennis Strunk. He has toured with various choirs throughout Europe as director, pianist, and ensemble member. Dr. Hahn currently serves as the director of the Chancel Choir at University Congregational Church in Missoula. Dr. Hahn has released a recording of a commissioned work for 2 pianos and percussion by David Maslanka and the Albany Records label. Sorry, lost my spot. and he's also a published author with Alfred Music. He is a professor of piano and chair of the keyboard division at the University of Montana in Missoula. So with that, you all can come up.
Thank you very much. It's wonderful to be here. It's a real honor to be invited on behalf of University Congregational Church. We also have wonderful members here from Holy Spirit Episcopal Church, also from Dolce Canto. So just some really wonderful people represented here, and we're honored to be part of this service. That's a beautiful tune entitled MLK. It's originally recorded by the pop group, the rock group, U2, and was arranged by Bob Chilcote in that arrangement that you just heard. This next piece we're going to do was actually requested, sort of one of the last things Martin Luther King actually said on his deathbed, or at least it was a piece that was requested by him, this precious Lord. Take my hand that you're going to hear now. We are going to do a little bit of a congregational sing-along, but I'll cue you when and when to not. So I think the words are going to be up there, and it'll be verse 2 and it'll be verse 4, and in between that the choir will take it for a spin. So this is Precious Lord, Take My Hand.
Thank you so much for that. That was beautiful. So now we're going to have our keynote speaker come up, and our keynote is Justin Green. He's in his 8th season at his alma mater, coaching the running backs and serving as the Grizzlies recruiting coordinator. He began his college career at San Diego State, where he redshirted in 2000, and he lettered for the Aztecs in 2001. The following year, Green transferred to San Diego Mesa College, where he was the team captain and co-MVP, rushing for 874 yards and 7 touchdowns. He was also the JC Gridwire All-American Honorable Mention. Green had a stellar 2-year career as running back at UM in 2003 and 2004. He rushed for 1,784 career yards in his 2 seasons at UM, which ranks him 11th in school history. As a junior, he rushed for 1,146 yards and 14 touchdowns, and was chosen as the Big Sky Newcomer of the Year. Drafted in the 5th round by the Baltimore Ravens in 2005, Green enjoyed a 4-year career in the NFL. He played 3 seasons at fullback for the Ravens and then played 1 year for the Arizona Cardinals for 1 season. So please join me in welcoming Justin Green.
Thank you for that welcome. A couple things before I get started. I want to, there's a couple things, being in the pulpit when I was growing up, I'll have some Baptist roots. And the first thing you would do anytime you were talking to someone is that you would give honor to people. First and foremost, we always give honor to God. Very fortunate that Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And I look forward to the day that I get to be called home one day. I know that my soul is saved. Very fortunate to be able to look forward to that. So I live my life with no regrets. And I'm very fortunate to be able to say that. I'd have to be thankful to my wife who is here. With God making Eve from Adam's rib, so has He made my wife from mine, to not stand in front of me, or to not stand behind me, but to walk in this life together beside me. And I appreciate what you have to go through, Megan, wherever you are. She's from somewhere around here, running around with my kids. I'm so thankful for you. I would also have to like to thank my kids. I have 2 special young ladies that have me wrapped around their fingers. All they have to do is say jump, and I say how high. Because I love my girls, they know I do. And they're definitely a fun group for me to be willing to protect and love. Also like to thank J-Ton Simpson, if you guys know who that is. That's a very dear friend of mine who has a love for his community, more particularly directed in the realms of the youth. What an inspiration you are to me, J-Ton. I appreciate who you are to me. First, before as I get started, I want to give you just a little bit of a background, who I am, why I do what I do, and as I get through this, I have no political tie or no religious agenda. What I will do is challenge you to act, to do something. So, first and foremost, I'm a young man. I'm a middle child. I have 10 brothers and 1 sister. People hear that, they have that same reaction. It's a funny deal. From 0 to 9, it was just me and my oldest brother. With that 10 brothers and 1 sister, a lot of it's a joint family. I also have a brother who's about 35 days older than I am. So my father was a Rolling Stone. Through mistakes that we make growing through life doesn't mean that there isn't things that you can be taught and learn from someone. I am very dear to my father. Often when I talk about my father, I tear up because of who he is in my life. Growing up, my father was a father to other fathers. All my brothers played football. Most of my life started with a football in my hand or a ball bag wrapped around me. If you let my father tell me, the reason why I was able to play in the NFL is because when I was a little kid, they would tie the ball bag around me when I couldn't walk. And all of a sudden I learned to walk and I started dragging the ball bag around. And then I started running with the ball bag around to where the mothers that had their kids at practice that would stick around had to watch me because I would get in the field and get in the way. I learned from my father and I learned the respect that the players that gave him the respect that a coach demands. My dad was a city bus driver, so he drove the city. So he drove around the city, and all of his players at some point would hop on the bus, and if guys were sagging or doing something that they shouldn't do, before they got on the bus, they saw it was my dad that pulled their pants up. Then all of a sudden, their voice would change. Yes, sir, no, sir. And my dad didn't have to say much. He just had to give you the look, and you knew you were wrong. I remember growing up and there being 30 kids in my house that were all football players that needed rides to the game. And they all came and stayed at my house. And the only way that they could get to the game was my dad would rent a bus from the bus company, and everybody would hop on the bus, and he'd get everybody to the game. I saw my father be a father to the fatherless. Most of the guys that I grew up with, that grew up with my older brother, didn't have fathers. Football was their father. And I saw the respect and the lessons that they learned through football to be able to become the men that they are today. The great thing about technology, Facebook and Twitter, I get a message at least twice a month for guys to ask how my father's doing and to check on him. And to have the respect for them to their lives, they all tell you, hey, if it wasn't for your dad, I wouldn't be able to do this. Or if it wasn't your dad taught me this. So growing up through that, I saw that firsthand. Not to mention my dad also coached me. So I got it probably a little more than other guys. And the expectation was higher for me because I should know. You're the coach's son. I equate it to being a preacher's son. Their expectation for that kid is extremely high because he should know. It's going on in the house every day, so he has to know. And if he messes up, it's almost double time because he should know. So that was part of my growing up and part of what I wanted to do. I didn't know I wanted to be a football coach until the opportunity presented itself. And as I look back on my life, this is kind of the thing that I wanted to do. I wanted to be impressionable on young men. And I wanted to have an opportunity to be able to one day a young man goes, hey, Coach Green screamed and yelled at this one thing that I remember. And how the legacy, as far as leading, not for my own, but for the names that I wear on the back of my jersey when I play. To me, Green means something. Justin means nothing. But the name on the back of my jersey, as far as it represents my grandfather's grandfather, and the person who gave him that name. And to me, that is an important deal. If I can be able to extend that to someone other than green, how fortunate I would be for that person to learn. So that's just a little bit of my background. What Martin Luther King means to me. I grew up, I felt like it must have been in a bubble. It was being a young black man growing up in Kennedy Elementary in San Diego, California. To me, Martin Luther King Day and what next month represents as far as Black History Month, all that to me was kind of the Black empowerment day. I grew up with the only people I saw for the most part were other black people. I didn't see much other color growing up. I felt like I was in a bubble when I grew up because again, Martin Luther King, hey, it's Black Empowerment Day. Now, my family, they identified a little bit different, not necessarily with Martin Luther King, but they identified with Malcolm X. They identified with the Black Panther Party of self-defense. I have aunties and cousins that were in representations of those facilities at that time that would tell me all kinds of different stories of oppression. So to me, February was black people getting their time back. Then I went to school. I went to school and I learned that it wasn't, Martin Luther King is not about black people. I learned about a guy by the name of Cesar Chavez. Okay, I learned about Gandhi. I learned about Susan B. Anthony. I learned about all these people as I grew and I realized that Black History Month or Martin Luther King isn't necessarily just about black people, but it's about people. And that oppression happens not only where I was from, but across the world. I didn't know that growing up, and for me to be able to learn that changed my view on what I saw in him. So there's a couple things that I want to throw out there. And knowing what I know, knowing what we know now, I quote Martin Luther King, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" I'm going to take two characteristics that to be able to get into this question. What are we doing for others? And number one, I want to talk. We're going to have some illustrations. Don't get lost in the illustration as we go. Number one, discipline. I look at the life of Martin Luther King, how disciplined it must be. And when I think of discipline, to me, discipline says, and we're going to compare discipline to motivation. To me, discipline says I must, or I have to, so I will. Versus motivation. Motivation says I feel a certain way, so I will. For example, I'm only going to do something because I feel good about doing it. Or I'm enraged with something, so therefore I'm going to do it. That's what motivation does. Now look at discipline. Discipline takes the feeling out of it, and it makes it not a feeling. It makes it something that you are going to do every day because that is the goal that you're set for too. No matter how you feel, good, bad, different, sick, not feeling so well, you are going to do it because you're disciplined. You're putting that discipline in your life to do. Give you another example. You ever guys see? You see it on Facebook and Twitter. People that try to put the picture up of them losing weight. Right? They go from 1 month they weigh this to the next month they're all skinny and in a bikini and those type of things. Right? Everybody's seen that on YouTube and Facebook, right? You realize that diets don't work. Okay, lifestyle change is what works. And for you to lose weight, for you to do that, you have to make some sacrifices. You can't eat the yummy cake. Okay? You see, I don't miss very many meals. I don't eat the yummy cake. Okay? But if you want to lose weight, you're going to have to sacrifice. There's some things that you are going to have to sacrifice. If you are going to be disciplined in your life, there's some things you're going to have to sacrifice. There's some things that you're going to want to do that you can't do. But because of your discipline, you have to keep that road. Look at that. Look at how that affects Martin Luther King and the discipline that he had. If I'm marching, I'm walking down the street and somebody throws a swing at me, God behold, I'm going to swing back. The discipline that Martin Luther King had to not raise a hand, to be nonviolent. How amazing is that? To have the discipline to continue to do what he did after his house being bombed multiple times, potentially being thrown into jail. Understand the discipline that it takes to be involved with what he wanted to do as far as being involved in his community. The second thing I want to bring up is selflessness. I believe the ultimate selfless act is to give up your life for another. What a wonderful example that we have as far as Martin Luther King, as far as giving up his life for us, for all of us. Doesn't matter what your skin color was, doesn't matter male or female, doesn't matter, it didn't matter what you were. To him, things mattered on who you were. And he wanted to know who you were. And he wanted you to be able to express who you were. There was a lot of risk involved, as far as selfishness that came through. And I want to give you one example as far as what we tell our young men. On signing day is the last day that a young man gets to be selfish. Once he signs his letter of intent to come to the University of Montana, it is no longer about him. He now becomes a member of a team. And he is represented by other guys that wear the name on the front of the jersey, University of Montana. And you no longer have any say as far as what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to do your job, and you also have to know your role, and you have to go do it. And you're now a member of the team. And in football, for those that we're asking for every single play that 11 people work together. 11 people work together for one common goal. I love being a football coach because to me, when I recruit guys, I'm not recruiting guys for a color. I'm not recruiting guys for a specific creed or a background. I'm recruiting good football players. And it doesn't matter what color they are or what their background is. I'm just looking for good football players. And I get to put those guys with other guys that have common goals as far as they want to be involved in football. Now, the beauty of what I get to do is now a lot of those things, you get play guys from Washington, guys from Idaho, guys from Montana, guys from Alabama, guys from Maine, and you get to be able to put all these guys in a melting pot. And they see that they have more than one thing in common. Now, the thing that I'm recruiting for, the thing I'm bringing for, is to play football. But then they start learning about each other. They start learning about their family values are very similar. They start learning about other cultures' family values and what's important to them. Now, so to me, to put those guys into a place that they're able to learn, how fortunate are we able to create a culture in that manner. So, as I wrap this up here, I always have a self-evaluation. As you do research and you do some things as far as looking back on what am I doing for others? What am I doing in my community? And I'll give you just a few practical things what I ask you to do that not necessarily you need to do, I need to do. And that I would ask you that you partner along with me. Get involved. What does that mean? It means exactly what it is. Get involved. I spend a lot of time at work, spend a lot of time with game planning, football, and recruiting, those type of things. But I also spend a lot of time on my phone. And about 4 months ago, everybody have an iPhone? You got this app that came through your phone that says how long you spend on certain apps. Right? I had to turn mine off. So get off your phone. Go get invested in your community. Whether you go to church, whether you have a community center nearby, go get invested in your community. Okay? Get involved. Number 2, talk to people. Next time, everybody go to Big Dipper, right? One of my favorite spots. Okay? But next time you go to Big Dipper, put your phone away and introduce yourself to the person in front of you. Introduce yourself to the person behind you. You'd be surprised that you won't have to say very much to start a conversation that lasts all the way up to the line where you guys get your high school. And how much better a person that you become by just knowing that person. Maybe there's something they have a need that they needed at that point, and you just sparked the need and were able to accomplish that need. You ever walk by somebody and not say anything to them? Say something to somebody. Say hello. Put a smile on your face. You never know what people are going through as you're walking down the street. You never know what they're going through, what they have going on in their lives. And you would hope that hey, just a smile might talk that person off the ledge because he just needed a smile. Or a high five to somebody. You don't know what can potentially spark someone just, hey, maybe just having a better day because things are rough. So I encourage you guys to do that. Young people, invest in someone older than 60. Okay? You don't know it all. And why do I pick the number? Why did I say the number 60? Because the person who's 60 would tell you that they don't know it all. And they're a lot older than you are. So invest some time into people who know things. If knowledge is power, go find the people who know something. All right? And I leave you with this quote. The time, quote by Dr. Martin Luther King. The time is always right to do the right thing. Thank you for your time. I hope there was something inspirational in there as you move along to go be the best person that you possibly can be. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach Green, for that. Now I'd like to, Andre's coming up. Andre is going to be performing while we do Pass the Hat, which I'll explain a little bit in just a second. So Andre Floyd is a singer-songwriter. And Jeremiah. Andre grew up all over the world, from Maine to Panama, from Montana to Mississippi. Andre has performed all over the world. In 2017, Andre was asked to write new music for To Kill a Mockingbird and to play the preacher in the University of Montana's production of Harper Lee's classic novel in China. Andre was able to travel from Beijing to Qigong with the Montana Repertory Theater to perform this award-winning play. So it's safe to say he has reached most of the world with his music and civic leadership. He has been the special musical guest at Missoula's MLK Day celebration for 5 years and counting. So now I'll introduce Pass the Hat. If the volunteers who are helping with Pass the Hat or some committee members, if you guys all want to meet over there with Amanda, she will help you. So this year marks the 27th year that Missoula has had a community celebration on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Like this event tonight, a committee of volunteers, Missoula citizens just like you, plan and carry out events with speakers, music, and the beautiful art and essays submitted by area public school students. The large number of people who come to this event sends an important message to others in Montana and beyond that our community believes in the importance of equal justice, human rights, and other principles that comprise the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. The committee is grateful for many local and area businesses that contribute to this annual event. A list of the sponsors can be found in your program. And we're grateful for the volunteers who help with all the logistics. We do, however, need to raise some funds for the things we do that cost money, like printing programs and buying the honorariums for our speakers. So if you can this year, the MLK Planning Committee asks for your contribution in raising those funds. Of course, any contribution you can make to help this event be possible is deeply appreciated. The most important gift you've given is your attendance tonight. So whether you can contribute or not, thank you so much for helping Missoula commemorate this important holiday. At this time, our volunteers can start passing out the baskets. Thank you.
Woo! Money, 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 money. Well, it is nice to be here today on Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration, and it's really nice to see our community come together. So give yourselves a hand for that. It's not the easiest thing to go. And I'm going to call up, I teach guitar, and I try to do as much mentoring as I can, and I have a very gifted student to introduce you to. And he's going to come join me on this song. So don't hesitate to put the money in the basket. And in the meantime, we're going to entertain you. Say hello to Jeremiah. So as he gets ready, and the people will get your wallets out and start your engines. to. It was so cold in here when I got here today that, I mean, everybody'd be drinking cocoa right now if you were. So you think you can tell heaven from hell, blue skies from rain? Can you tell a green field from a cold steel rail? Smile from a veil. So you think you can tell? Did they get you to trade your heroes for ghosts, hot ashes for dreams, hot air for a cool breeze, cold comfort for change? Did you exchange warm dark heart and war for a legal in the cage? How I wish you were here. We're just two lost souls living in a fishbowl, year after year, running over the same old ground. What have we found? The same old wheel. Wish you were here. Oh yeah. Thanks, Jeremiah. Thanks, you guys.
Thank you, Jeremiah and Andre, for that. That was beautiful. So now we're going to move into our Youth Art and Essay Contest presentation of awards. One of the great joys that I've had with this whole event is being a part of the Youth Art and Essay Contest. It has been really awesome and so great to see all of the different art pieces and essays and poems that students have submitted. This year we had about 330 submissions from students K through 12, so it was awesome. That's a lot of people submitting work and thinking about Dr. Martin Luther King. So with that, we'll have Lily and Ellie and Claire come on up, and they're going to present the awards.
Is this one on? Yay, awesome. Hi everyone, I'm Claire Michelson with Empower Montana, and with me are two of our Youth Advisory Council members, Ellie and Lily. We have the great honor of presenting the awards for this year's Youth Art and Essay Contest. This year, the Missoulian newspaper and MLK committee sponsored our annual essay and art contest for students to showcase their creativity and thoughts in response to a quote of Dr. King. The artwork and essays of the contest winners have been published in yesterday's copies of the Missoulian, so check it out.
Hi, I'm Ellie. I'm Ellie Crepo. I'm in 8th grade and I go to Frenchtown Junior High. This year's quote was, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" We received so much amazing artwork and writing this year. Although the committee could only pick a limited number of awards, we want to honor and recognize all who entered this contest. The committee really enjoyed witnessing the talent and vision of our community's young people. Thank you.
I'm Lily Trotter. I'm an 8th grader at CS Porter Middle School. We will be announcing the winners for the art contest first. We will be calling out names of the 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place winners. We will ask the winners to come to stage to be recognized, and then directly in front of me, a team will work to get you your awards. When you receive the award, line up and stay on stage until all of the winners are announced. All the winning artwork will be projected as we announce names.
Our 3rd place art winners are K through 2nd grade, Thomas Hopkins. Third through 5th grade, Beatrice Paxson.
Sixth through 8th grade, Eliana Kessler. Ninth through 12th grade, tied for 3rd place, we have Arij Morangi and Chloe Burdine.
Our 2nd place art winners are K through 2nd grade, Sabrina Wetzel. Third through 5th grade, Fiona Kerr.
Sixth through 8th grade, Courtney Ishler. 9th through 12th grade, Joylyn Glidewell.
And our first place art winners this year are K through 2nd grade, Tenley Gosling. Third through 5th grade, Addison Jessup.
Sixth through 8th grade, Alden Hellam. Ninth through 12th grade, Jesse Gibson. Congratulations, winners. You may take your seats now.
Now we'll welcome to the stage our third and second place winners for the essay contest, and then we'll invite our first place winners to join us at the mic to read your winning piece. And I know there are a couple who couldn't make it, so Sierra and I will do our best.
Our third place winners for K through 2nd grade, tied for third place, we have William Bradford and Mateo Sorensen. Third through 5th grade, Mai McKelvey Pham.
Sixth through 8th grade, Liam Richardson. And 9th through 12th grade, Bobby Goss.
Now let us welcome our second place winners, K through 2nd grade, Reese Bauer. Third through 5th grade, Zoe Ball.
Sixth through 8th grade, Amelie Eder. And 9th through 12th grade, Emmeline Derry. And now we will welcome our first place winners. Reading their winning essay, we will welcome K through 2nd grade winner, Jasper Stone Cipher.
Is Jasper here? Sierra, would you like to read us Jasper's piece?
Yes. This is called A Poem of Love. Love is amazing. Love brings miracles to the world. Love makes hope and happiness. Hope spreads seeds of happiness. Happiness spreads light to plants and animals. You can bring love, happiness, and hope to the world. These are lights in the world. Using these, you can help get rid of the dark in these times.
Next, third through 5th grade winner, Benny Reed, isn't here, so we'll be reading their winning piece.
Benny Reed. I'd like to highlight this was written by a third grader. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? The most important word in this quote is the word doing. Doing is harder than talking, thinking, hoping, or wishing. One person who did a lot to help others was Harriet Tubman, who lived 100 years before Martin Luther King Jr. Harriet was born a slave in Maryland. She escaped to the free state of Pennsylvania. She could have just stayed there and said, "Phew, I got out." Instead, she went back to the South 19 times to rescue over 300 slaves. She helped them get away on the Underground Railroad, which was not a real railroad, but rather good people's homes, barns, and hideouts on the way to the north. The slave owners hated her because she took their slaves. They offered $40 million in today's money for whoever caught her or killed her. Harriet Tubman accepted life's most persistent and urgent challenge. Even though she was always in danger, she still helped others and ran the Underground Railroad for 10 years. She never lost a single passenger. She never stopped helping others for the rest of her life until she died at age 93. Harriet Tubman is a perfect example of what Martin Luther King Jr. was talking about.
And our 6th through 8th grade winner, Eden Maxwell.
Scared of the dark. Walking alone is walking in the dark. To help someone could be to walk with them, stride for stride. Through hurricanes or tsunamis, through hatred and love. To walk into their wars and fight to the end with them through all the sorrow and loss. To walk through the moments of joy and happiness, holding on to each wave of laughter and smile as bright as the sun. To climb into their skin and crawl around in it, leaving your footprints on sandy beaches or rigid peaks. To walk with them is to care about them. We each have a light, and walking with them can form a spark. If a spark can form, then a fire can burn. And if the fire catches, you are no longer walking in the dark, but walking through the light. That fire burns full of love and acceptance, scorching through all the canyons of despair, solitude, and hatred, burning with a light so bright, it can help everybody. Because light doesn't have religion, race, gender, or shape. Light isn't a jury inside of a courthouse. Light just exists, ever present and ever glowing. There's no need to be scared of the dark, because there's a light that's glowing, a fire that's burning inside all of us. Because why would we stumble through the dark all alone, when all we need to do is turn on the light and see everyone who stands with you?
And finally, our 9th through 12th grade winner, Sam Haviland, will be reading their speech.
Sam couldn't be here, so I will be reading his essay. So it starts with just the MLK quote, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" I read this over and over again. The thoughts in my head never go to rest. Weeks go by, time flies, and I question if I am that good of a guy. What am I doing for others? I ask again. I think harder. I help at the soup kitchen every now and then. I think of every donation I put in the cup of the poor. I'm not a helping hand. I'm not a savior. I have to donate. It's probably not too late. By lending a helping hand will it determine my fate. Helping was MLK's motto. He is one of the greats. How could such a good man get so much hate? What am I doing for others? How can I make a difference? I need to be the good. I finally understood. I could, I should, and now I understood I would. Starting small with pleases and thank yous, treating people right, is long overdue.
Congratulations to all the contest winners, and thank you to all who participated.
You all can take your seats. And I'm just going to ask for one more round of applause for our Youth Advisory Council. Yeah. Thanks.
I think they're just so cute, and they offer some really wise words that I feel like I did not have when I was their age. So before our last performance, I want to just thank some of our sponsors, which include ATG, Bitterroot Flower Shop, Emmaus Campus Ministry, The Good Food Store, Global and Cultural Affairs, Missoula Urban Indian Health Center, Missoula Taekwondo Center, the University of Montana, MCAT, a donation from Nut Tennis in memory of Rex Tennis, the Book Exchange, Coca-Cola, Orange Street Food Farm, Thrivent Financials, and MCAT. So thank you for all of them. Before we have our final performance, I'd also like to just invite everyone to join us next door after we're all done for our community dinner afterwards. This dinner was put together by Murray Pierce and Abe Rochot, and I am super excited to eat. I don't know if you all are. This is an incredible meal that is all provided by donation. We are asking for a suggested donation of $5 a person or $10 a family. And there will be some donation jars in there. However, do not let the ability to not be able to give stop you from joining us. We will welcome you with open arms. So thank you all for joining, and to end tonight's program, we are honored to have Eden Atwood at the piano, along with McKenna and Simone, who will be singing a few songs, and then they'll also be joined by Andre to close out the celebration with This Little Light of Mine.
Thanks everybody for being here. It's a beautiful turnout. I'm sure it's blizzarding outside. I understand that there are blankets if we have to stay tonight. It'll just be a big cuddle party. Social justice. We're going to do a couple of tunes for you. We're going to start off with Simone Fielding, who has performed at this event many years. And my Facebook, it comes up over and over, and she's much taller now and singing even deeper tunes. This is a song that was written by Patty Griffin called Up to the Mountain, inspired by the mountaintop speech by Martin Luther King. I went up to the mountain because you asked me to. Up over the clouds to where welcome Miss McKenna Alex.
Morning light, silken dream, safe light, as the darkness gives way to the dawn. You survived, now your moment has arrived, now your dream has finally been born. Black butterfly, sail across the waters, tell your sons and daughters what the struggle brings. Black butterfly, set the skies on fire, rise up even higher, so the ageless winds of time can catch your wings. While you slept, the promise was unkept, but your faith was as sure as the stars. Now you're free, and the world has come to see just how proud and beautiful you are. Black butterfly, sail across the waters, tell your sons and daughters what the struggle brings. Black butterfly, set the skies on fire, rise up even higher, so the wind can catch your wings. Let the current lift your heart and send it soaring. Write your timeless message clear across the sky, so that all of us can breathe in and remember when breathing that a dream conceived in truth can never die. Cause now you're free, and the world has come to see just how proud and beautiful you are. Black butterfly, sail across the waters, tell your sons and your daughters what the struggle brings. Black butterfly, set the skies, set them on fire, rise up even higher, so the ageless winds of time can catch your wings.
When you are so inspired, please clap and sing along.
This little light of mine.
definitely come to this.